Hey everyone, welcome to a new show that we're calling Bombshells at the Villa. We're going to be covering the newest season of Love Island. And with me are our Love Island experts. Julia, you know her from our Meet You at Breakfast podcast. Julia, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing quite well. Excited to spend the summer talking about a bunch of very pretty people in a house. Uh, in Fiji. Seems
Yes.
like a good gig for them.
Yeah, they're
And then
hoping to find love.
all to find love, hopefully. So introducing to the better radio side of things. She's appeared on the main channel Wicked Good Everything and the sports channel Wicked Good Sports to talk a little bit about the U.S. women's national team. Jenny, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm excited to talk about pretty people.
Yes, yes, and you've watched me from our house, do so many podcasts, and so I'm sure it's very exciting for you to be here finally up as a part of one.
Yeah, it's my first podcast, so we'll see how I do. But I've seen a lot of you doing your podcast. I watch Biggest Fan, so hopefully I can
All
say what
right.
you say.
Well, with that out of the way, let's talk about a little bit of controversy to start this season off. A
Mhm.
house guest, or what's the correct nomenclature for Love Island players? What are the
Um,
Islanders?
Islanders.
Islanders, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. An Islander has been cast off, sent back to the US because of some pretty controversial stuff. I don't know. Julie, do you want to start off there and kind of introduce the person, and then we can talk about why they got kicked off in the middle of the night?
Yeah. So I mean, I I actually saw that she had gotten kicked off as I was like going to start binging the first couple of episodes, and I was like, great. So I'm not going to get attached to her. Amazing. And then I waited until after I watched all the episodes to kind of dive into it. So we are diving into Yulissa. It's funny too because she's one of the older women too, which I didn't realize right away. So you would
Yeah.
think, she's a mature lady, she's got her life together, she just wants to find love. Um, when I originally saw her come on my screen, I was like, okay, she's like Camila Cabello, like she's gorgeous, amazing, like good for her. So yeah, we don't really feel that way anymore. I guess she's made some inappropriate comments. Jenny, I'm sure you have the note in here of everything that was explicitly came out about her, but um yeah, so I guess basically she was just woken in the middle of the night and said pack your shit and get out. So, and was this after the very first night too?
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
beginning of the second episode, they were just like,
Mhm.
and Yulissa went home and like
They're like,
pretty much
and
didn't say
Yulissa left
anything
the
else.
villa.
I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay.
it was funny too because I'm sure the Islanders talked about it, but they probably
Cut
cut
everything out.
everything. Yeah, and Ace was just like, "Oh well." I don't
I'm
even think he really
single.
wanted to be coupled up with her anyways. So
Yeah.
I think he was kind of like, "Darn, bye." But
Yeah, yeah, she was a fun character for 1 second.
yeah, yeah, I mean, she came right out the back and stole him right away when there was a free
Yeah,
person that she could have easily coupled up with and just not caused any riffraff. But
yeah,
she
that was
she just
a
went for it.
choice. Because she stole
Definitely,
it from someone who, they knew each other outside of the
which was
game.
so interesting to me. I wrote that down. I'm like, they met? Question mark.
Yeah, in real
But
life, so
yeah, I think the storyline was like they met. Like one was going into a club and one was leaving the club, and they like met and crossed paths and like texted a little.
yep.
But like that's like red string theory is a real thing, and
Yes.
like I don't think the producers would have had any idea that the two of them ever like texted each other in the past.
Which is, like, crazy, like, what are the odds of that? And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's, like they never mentioned fate, but I feel like that was my first
Mhm.
reaction. I was like, "Okay, so do they have to be a couple now?" And
Right.
then Yulissa and they did become a couple, so I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
like, that's expected." And then Yulissa
Mhm.
comes in and steals him, which
Yeah.
respect that she had that confidence to,
Mhm.
feel that she was better than the person that he already knew.
Mhm.
But strategically, an odd choice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just so we can, write off Ulysses as fast as the show did. Basically, I guess she has previous content of her using inappropriate racial slurs, which led to her, receiving lots of backlash on social media. And the funny thing is, too, is like, especially nowadays, I feel like producers do like insane background checks on people before they bring them onto this huge show. And like this show is happening live too. Imagine if they filmed the entire show and this came out like after they had already filmed the entire show.
It'd be crazy.
Like, that's crazy. But it's the fact that it's literally happening now and they're like, hey, yeah, so you gotta go.
I'm surprised they didn't find this ahead of time. And I almost wonder if they did and like we're like, it's cloudy, whatever. And then the internet saw it and like, actually, no, this is horrible. And they were like, oh, actually, we need to tell her to leave, because there's no way people could find it in 2 seconds and the producers couldn't while casting for the show. So
right. And like people's digital footprints are so big nowadays. It's like it's so easy to find something that someone's a part of and like check it out and make sure they're like a stand-up person. Like it's really not that hard. But I mean, we'll give the producers, we'll give them a little bit of slack. Maybe it was just something that fell between the cracks, but you all know that the social media trolls will find it. They will find everything.
And they found it fast.
So, yeah, they found it very fast. They're like, what's her name? Oh, she said this.
Instant.
Yeah, that's the thing. This happens on Big Brother sometimes where someone will be announced or even on the show and then people will be like, wait a second, they did this. And I don't understand why these shows don't like freelance hire these people on Twitter to do the background checks for them. I don't know. Feels like it would be good.
No, you just hand out all the social security numbers of the new cast and make sure everybody knows everything about them before they actually show their face on TV.
Right.
Done.
Yeah.
Because now it's just looking at the show. So
it's always my joke at the beginning of the Big Brother season that like if I am to go missing, just get Big Brother Twitter on the case. You will find me so quick. So
yeah.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, I guess we can talk about the people who are actually on the show for real. Do you want to kind of go through the couples and give your thoughts on them? Jenny, do you want to lead that?
Yeah. So we could start off with Shelley and Austin, who were an unexpected couple. So they were forced together initially because, like we talked about, Yulissa took Ace from Shelley, and they had, Ace and Shelley knew each other outside of the show. So Austin and them have been coupled. Austin's such a wild card to me. I'm not really sure I quite know what Austin, like who he is, because he comes across super innocent, chill, laid back, and throughout the last couple of episodes we have found out he's very sexually active. Very phone
quite a few partners in the past.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
And you just like wouldn't get that from him at all. And I still haven't reconciled that they're the same person in my mind. So I'm very curious. They've, spoiler alert, recoupled again. So, and they've even admitted to being more of like a platonic relationship initially, but now they're kind of going back being like, well, maybe it could be more, which I'm curious if that was more in anticipation of there being a recoupling and kind of saving themselves from being eliminated. But I don't know. I'm curious, Julia, what you think. That their couple is so fascinating to me. I'm not sure how to feel about it.
I think Shelley is like the most gorgeous girl. Like
yes.
Like all the boys love Shelley. Like
as they should.
She has this like aura about her where I feel like she's gonna be like the Serena of this season. For sure. And I said it on my TikTok and I'll say it again. Austin is the Saskatchewan guy from Grown Ups.
It's so spot on.
Saskatchewan. His voice does not match his body. My mom agreed with me too. She's like, I was not picturing that kind of voice for that kind of man.
No one
and he's a good looking guy. I'll give him credit. I same thing for me. I thought he was going to be more of like a Miguel, kind of like quiet, reserved, like keeping his personal information to himself. But that was not the Austin that we got.
Sure was it.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel bad though with the recoupling because I do think that he really liked Amaya.
Yes, and the
So I
order
like
just
them. Mhm.
unlucky.
I really thought that Ace was gonna pick Shelly, but I guess we'll get to that in a
I
minute.
did
But
too. Yeah,
yeah,
I did too.
but
I feel like Amaya and Austin have more
mhm,
chemistry in my mind,
definitely,
but
definitely.
who knows?
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, it's more of a friend coupling. I think they care for each other, but it's more platonic. But Shelly's gorgeous. Austin is a question mark. But
Yep, exactly.
and then I keep saying her name wrong. Is it Huda or Huda?
Huda,
Huda. Okay. Because like
I
some
think.
she's pronouncing it Huda, but the other girls are pronouncing it Huda. So
I've
I'm like,
noticed that too. Even Jeremiah said it differently one time, and I was like,
yeah.
do you know who you're coupled with?
So like they're very interesting to me, this couple. I think they're obviously very hot and heavy, very into each other, but I do feel like he has love bomber written all over him.
100%. And she even admitted that.
Hmm.
Like initially she was like it was kind of too much, and now I feel like it's kind of backfired because she's super attached
Yeah.
like to
Now
this
she's like getting to the
couple.
point where she's like staying in his line of sight. And I'm like, girl,
Calm down.
no, calm down. You've known this man for 3 days. And the other thing too is she's a mom, so she has to take this very seriously.
Yes, that was
So,
my thought too. Like I can understand from that perspective wanting to find someone that's committed, and she's definitely more focused on loyal relationships. But I feel like worried for her because
mhm,
Jeremiah signed up fully participating in Love Island. We're going to be, exploring all the different women on the show, and she came in with very different expectations and has like insane expectations of him, like even a day in, and all the
yeah,
other islanders are like calling them out on it, and she's very, set in her ways, which again, like I totally respect, but I worry that it's setting her up for heartbreak because I'm not really convinced Jeremiah is like 100% in, because I agree. I feel like he's love bombing, and then something else is
mhm,
going to come and finally like weasel her way, not weasel, but like push
yeah,
past Huda's like guardrails.
yeah.
And then Jeremiah's, I don't think will take much to shift,
Yeah,
sadly.
no, I mean, there's something about him, and I think Ace is even trying the TikTok that you
Yes.
sent, Brian. He's like, there's just something about him. He's like
Yes.
trying to like figure it out, and I totally agree. I totally get that too. Like, there's something very interesting about him. I think they they're both very similar in the sense where they latched on to the first person that they were like, ooh, like goo goo gaga over,
Yes.
and I don't know, like, I think Ace even said it to Huda. He was like, "You've known this guy for 2 days, like, chill out,"
Yeah.
which is
I
so
think
true, like, it's the environment, but, like, you've known this person for a week now.
And I think it's just the wrong mindset to have specifically
Mhm,
on Love Island. Like she's doing herself a disservice because this is like an opportunity where it's actually accepted to talk to people while you're coupled, because they're
mhm,
not meant to be like, a true boyfriend, girlfriend, loyal, situation. And so
right.
I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice by not maintaining that respect for each other and reality of the show that they're on. So
Yeah,
I feel like Jeremiah knows that. I'm worried she doesn't. And I really like her. I think she's
mhm,
really awesome, confident, fun.
yeah,
But I'm just worried that she's gonna get like the short end of the stick. And she's so
yeah,
emotional. She's in her fifis. I'm like, protect her.
mhm, yeah.
Help her.
I'm very worried about her just getting the shit end of the stick because
Yeah.
I could see, like, even, like, when what was it? Amaya that was interested in Jeremiah, like,
Mhm.
she was like, "No, that's my man," and it's like but it was okay for him to kiss her during the challenge, but, like, it was like I just don't think I think she's just talking out of the wrong side of her mouth because she doesn't like,
Yeah.
she knows that she has no claim over him, but yet she has claim over him at the same time,
And he lets it
and
happen, frankly.
yeah, he does because I think he's obsessed I think he really likes her, but I think he's also obsessed with how obsessed she is with him.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried because he did. So Huda eventually she's a single mom. She started off in the show not telling anyone except for some of the women, and then wanted to kind of, I think, gut check a guy a little bit more than just initial reactions before saying something. So she finally tells Jeremiah. I think his response was pretty reasonable, basically just being like, I'm processing it essentially. But he did say that going into that, like just in general in life, that is sort of a deal breaker for him is people, having kids involved in that relationship. Whereas now he's kind of saying like, I'm really interested in her. I really like her. I'm interested to kind of pursue that. But understandably, that's a lot to put on someone that wasn't mentally
Yes.
probably preparing or expecting that to come into his life. And he's 25, so I'm like, he's not a baby, but he's still in that like range, age range,
right? And like, I mean, and that's like they're like my age, and it's also so far-fetched for me that all of these people are like my age or around my age, and I'm like, first of all, they look way older than me. Like, where do they find these people? I'm like, I'm a normal 25-year-old. Like these people are not normal 25-year-olds. Like what kind of country did they come from? Like, I don't know. Like I can't, like, I don't know. We're definitely not living in the same planet because like I look at these two that are 24 and 25, and obviously she's a mom, so she has a way more maturity behind her. But I'm also like looking at them and I'm like, how are we the same age?
I know.
Like, oh my God. But I digress. I could go on a rampage about that because it's so insane to me. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm in the same boat being like 25, not committed, not a parent. So like I could see where he would be like, that's a lot for me to take on. Whereas she's already had this as part of her life in her early to mid 20s. So if it's the right person, it's the right person and you take it on. But it's also like they just met and she is a mom. So if he doesn't feel it, he should probably cut it off soon.
I 100% agree, especially when she is being very like, her intentions are essentially to find someone that can, raise her kid with her as well. And, if you're not in it, I agree. Just be forward and kind of allow yourselves the opportunity to find someone else. And but I'm rooting for her and him separately and also together. I'm just not convinced yet that. But I mean, it's new for us. Like, only a few days. So
I like her. I'm not 100% sure on him. I think he's a love bomber, and I do think Ace is on to something with him.
I agree. I mean, I think I wrote down like, is he genuine or playing the game? And I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I wrote down the same thing. I said, is it love bombing or end game?
Yes, exactly.
But all right, so Ballet and Nicholas.
Nick.
Oh my God,
they were doomed from the start.
Van Steenberg.
I know, it sounds like wealthy.
Yeah. So when Nick popped up onto my screen, I was like, you're adorable. You're the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life. And now that he's like talked and like engaged the girls, I'm like, okay, so you're just like all the other guys. Like you're icky. Like, what are you doing? And I really like appreciate Bella like coming out of the woodwork and being like, I'm not kissing you. I just met you.
Yes, I love that.
Her. So what do you think of him?
Yeah, I just knew from the start it wasn't going to go well because he talked a lot about how love language and physical touch is really important. He wants to feel worshipped basically in his relationship. And she comes in, again, totally understandably, because she like literally just met these people being very timid and not wanting to kiss and be very lovey-dovey. And so, he was really gracious at first, understanding that, this is like a new thing. And so like maybe over time it could have, she was starting to warm up through the challenges and whatnot. Like maybe it could have blossomed into something as she felt more comfortable. But the moment, Sarah came in and was giving him basically what he said he's into, it's kind of like, oh, shit. Like I did think it was pretty shitty on Nick's part where, before the challenge, he was like, oh, Bella's like, a 20%. And then, she finally, that's the moment she decides to actually kiss the guys and have fun. And then now all of a sudden it's like a 50. And it just proved to me that it's very much more that physical only and not the personality. Because personally, and I love Bella, like I think she's such a sweetheart.
She was so cute, yeah.
But they had no chemistry. They kept, every time they had a conversation, I was like, she's literally just a soundbite. Like, we'll just say something very just quick and short, but nothing meaty about it. So it was really hard. They were very awkward at first, but I was rooting for them. Oh, do we lose Julia?
No, Julia has frozen. Okay, back now.
That was weird.
All right. Where were you, Jenny?
What was the last thing you heard?
That Bella's a really cute person.
Oh, yeah. And I was just saying that, like, Bella's so cute. She's adorable. But every time they talked, she just talked basically in sound bites. Like, very short little, like, things. And she was probably just nervous because you definitely saw her in her own, like, diary room, confessionals, whatever they call them. She can talk, have a conversation, but she was just so awkward with the two of them. And between that and like the physical touch, and Sierra came in hot, literally. Like,
literally.
But it's so frustrating because it was so obvious as a viewer that like Nick would gravitate to Sierra, and that made sense given what he said his love language was. But I feel like he was being wishy-washy unnecessarily.
Yeah, and like I give major props to Bella just coming in and holding her own, and I'm glad that she got to have some fun before she left us. And it's always like the good ones that like leave, like, but she was thinking rationally. She's like, I just met these men. They just walked off the street. I don't know them from the next guy. Like, so like, why am I gonna shove my tongue down their throat? Like, and like that's how a rational person thinks. Like,
she was too normal for the show.
She was. And it was she the one that said that she had like a 9-year relationship or something like that.
She's been in one relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it was.
There was, I think she said like she's only been with one person, and I'm like, well, good for her for like standing her ground and stuff like that too. But the fact that Nick wasn't like, he was like shoving her to the side until she like grinded up on him basically. And he's like, oh yeah, Bella, I like Bella. It's like
bitch, you don't.
Do you like Bella or do you like kissing Bella? They're two different things.
Like, he was very obviously attracted to her. How could you not be? But there wasn't anything else. Like, at least with Sierra and him, they definitely had actual like legitimate conversations.
Yeah.
Plus the physical touch element.
I
but
think
Bella
was
was the youngest.
Like, I also just feel like they're kind of just like talking to a wall too. Like,
oh yeah, and but maybe that's a Nick factor.
Yeah, maybe it's him.
Maybe it's just him. I mean, sometimes he does say some things in the conversations. I'm like, oh, that was kind of like emotionally intelligent. Like, I respect that. But then there's other moments where he says something really stupid, and I'm just okay.
I mean, he's a nurse, so he has to be smart. So he has book smart, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's got street smart. So,
which reminds me of Shelly. Sorry to go back to her, but
we can always go back to Shelly.
In the first episode, she's a day trader, and so she was like, people are surprised when they find that out because I am really smart. And then literally like 2 seconds later in the episode, she goes on this whole thing about how she didn't realize that ponies were real, and it cracked me up. I loved it so much.
Yeah, you can be like the smartest person in the room, but then someone's like, okay, so here are the directions. And they're like, well, how do you take a right turn? What?
I was like,
yeah, I mean, Nick is an interesting character for sure. He was another one kind of like Austin where he came on my screen. I was like, oh, cutie pie. And then he started talking and I was like, oh. Like, okay, you're raunchy. Okay. A little much, but okay. I keep saying her name wrong. Is it Alondria or Alondra?
Alondria.
Alondria and Taylor. Taylor reminds me of someone, and I can't put my finger on it. It's been driving me nuts.
Oh no. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm not a huge Taylor fan.
There's something about him that I don't. Both of them. There's something off about both of them, and the the fire pit comment that Alondra made to Huda. She's like,
Oh.
we'll talk about it later. And Huda's like crying. She's like, I didn't mean to upset her. And she's like, she literally just said, we'll talk about it later. Like,
No, that whole thing. I was like,
that goes back to Huda being like emotionally like all over the place. It's like
mhm.
she said it a little short with her, but
Yeah.
like she was just blindsided. Like the guy that she coupled up with just left her. Like she'll just be like,
So
oh,
random.
we'll have stuff to talk about later. Like, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think she's insanely out of his league, but
Mhm.
there's just something about him I can't put my finger on that I don't love.
He just does not express himself at all. I think that's my challenge. Like, you know, with a lot of the Islanders, I've written down their characteristics and what they've expressed wanting in a partner. And all
You
I
just have
have for
cowboy
him,
written for him.
all I have for love interest for Taylor is has to have good hygiene and pretty feet. So
So interesting that he very outwardly said that too. Like, so does he
yes.
have a foot fetish or does he just like when girls are clean? Like,
I mean, he, you know, he's a
or
cowboy,
both?
so maybe like the people
Mm,
cowboys are, you know, dirty, they work hard. So I don't know. So maybe that's like an issue, you know, where he's from. But
oh,
I had high hopes for
yeah.
them at first because she wants, you know, the Southern charm, chivalry, like
Mhm.
her cowboy. So I was like, oh my God, they're perfect for each
They're
other.
perfect, yeah.
But then he just doesn't give anything,
Mhm.
which, you know, when he recoupled with someone else, like initially, and it was just threw her off guard.
Mhm.
You just didn't see it coming because he doesn't talk about his feelings. He doesn't talk about what he's thinking. Like she even says that when they talk, they don't even talk about their own relationship. But they keep just sticking with each other, which, you know, she probably hasn't found a connection with someone else, which sucks because I really like her. I wrote down that she
Mhm.
reminded me initially of uh uh Justine from season 2 from
Oh.
like a really long time ago, just
Mhm.
because she's really just sweet, like
Mhm.
nice person, very
Mhm.
authentic, and like
Mhm.
not gonna try to, you know, she's looking for a genuine, like I trust that she's really looking for a genuine
Yes.
connection.
And
And I'm
I
just
just there's
disappointed it's Taylor
something.
right now.
Yeah, and it's like that's the same thing. Like I think the only like off-putting thing about her was that whole like thing with Huda, but like I
Yes, but she
understood.
handled it so well, like
Oh,
both of them
100%.
after they talked.
100%. Yeah. Um I definitely think she's going to give people a run for their money. Like she's definitely going to be the like person keeping the peace, like and like making sure
Yeah.
keeping everyone in check. But like Taylor, I just don't think he's her man. I think there's going to be some other guy that comes in that's kind of similar vibe. Maybe he's from the South, maybe not a cowboy, but like he's Southern and has the hospitality that she's looking for.
Yep.
But I don't see anything with them. There's just no chemistry.
And like in Taylor's case too, you know, you talked about being from a small town, you know everyone.
Mhm.
He wanted help finding someone basically outside of that realm. And then so then I was surprised that then he gravitated towards someone that's probably very
Mhm.
similar to a lot of the people in his town rather than going outside his comfort zone, which I think he kind of needs, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna have a hard time finding someone else to talk to because he's so like inward.
Closed off, resort. He's just
Yeah.
very inward. That's the best way to describe him.
Yeah, which isn't like a bad thing. It just makes it really
Mhm.
hard with this type of show.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And then we've got Ace. Oh, Ace. My
nice.
mom goes, "Does he seriously have his own name tattooed across his entire back?"
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Of course.
Did you hear the quote? I feel like I wrote it down. It said something like, "Oh, she's got this written all over his face and Ace has himself written all over his back."
Yes, that's so
I
accurate.
miss the narrator so much. Um Oh my god, I wrote, speaking of our little voiceover friend, I wrote down something that he said. It was so funny. When everyone was standing up at the fire, he said, "I haven't seen this many people stand up since Will Smith at the Oscars."
So good.
So funny. But
Ape.
anyways, back to Ace. He I I like him. I there's nothing really that's like putting me off on him so far. Obviously he, lost his couple after the first day, so he's just been chilling until now. Um I I don't know. I like him so far. I do think he's another person that's going to keep people in check too, but I feel like in his case that's going to get him into trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think my thing with Ace, it was really interesting seeing, the beginning when they're picking their first couple, like
Mhm.
the blindfold kissing. Ace is a very popular person
Hot
with
commodity for
all
sure.
hot commodity. And at first I was like,
Mhm.
what is the fucking hype? Like, what's so special about this guy, Ace? Like, his
Mhm.
ego is growing so large. And I
Mhm.
was thinking about it on my way home from work today, and I honestly think he's got Riz. Like, he's got the charisma.
100%. Yeah.
Every time he's talking to a girl, like, he's saying all the right things. He's complimenting her, both physical and mental. Like, he's very thoughtful with his words. And he does say, like I said, like, a lot of the right things. I also think he has a lot of family values. He seems like a really fun
Mhm.
person. Like, there's nothing, like, I haven't noticed any specific red flags with him. So I can understand why a lot of the people, and he's attractive obviously too. So I can understand why
Right.
a lot of the
Yeah,
women
he
are like
definitely has
so
the
into
riz.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
curious to see when
And
he's actually in a committed couple,
mhm.
if he continues to tell other women like all those, sweet nothings, or if
Right.
he starts to actually like back up what he's saying to his couple with action. So
Mhm.
I'm very curious to see
Yeah.
that.
And hopefully we'll get to see that now with Amaya. I was
Yeah.
actually a little surprised that he didn't pick Shelly when he had the chance to,
Yeah.
because again, Shelly's also someone that's a hot commodity too. So the two of them would be like the power couple.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm very interested. What is their age gap, by the way? Oh, she's 5 years older than him too.
Oh, he's a baby. He's only
Yeah, he
22.
is. So
Hmm.
I guess they met in like January, she said. So that's interesting too. But yeah, so they also have a little bit of an age gap. What is his age difference with Amaya? Anything different? Did
Oh,
they
I don't
say?
know. I'm not sure what her age is.
I think they were on the younger side too. So, but
Oh, she's
um
25.
okay, that's not that bad. But all these guys, again, they're 22 and he looks like he's older than me. Like I
I
can't.
know. I
Crazy.
I think with him and Shelly, so like at the beginning, it was very obvious when with the list
Mhm.
and everything that he wanted to be with her.
Mhm.
I think honestly, and he kind of talked about this with why he picked Amaya, like she came in hot like for him very
Mhm.
clearly. Where Shelly, I feel like hasn't really indicated her interest, which I think is
Mhm.
there. They have a lot of like similar, they both like to dance, they both family focused. She's really confident. He expressed wanting someone like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know if maybe she just hasn't like given him enough like indication that she's like really into him. Because she
Yeah.
she did talk about being like a slow burn, which we're kind of seeing that with the potential Austin friendship, not friendship situation.
Right.
So maybe that's what she's like, and he just doesn't realize that she's probably also into him, but I'm
Mhm.
just not sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how he's gonna act now that he's in a real couple. And
Yes. Right.
but and it's like it's funny looking at the recoupling page too, because they're all pretty much the same. Like they've all pretty
Yeah.
much kind of stayed put. Obviously Huda and Jeremiah were not going anywhere.
No.
And I actually am really liking Hannah and Charlie. We didn't actually talk about
Me
our
too.
first season, our first Bombshells yet. We talked about Sierra a little bit, but I think Charlie is adorable. He's so cute, and like none of the girls stood up for him at the fire. I was like, guys, he's so cute and sweet. Like, what's wrong with Charlie? Like,
I was shocked because
yeah.
he came in, had some really great conversations with some of the women, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And
Mhm.
I don't know if the challenge about like how many people he's been with and all that kind of stuff like put him off, but I'm like, that'd be so hypocritical because literally
Mhm.
Austin baby is like crazy. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't stand up for him. He seems like such a
Yeah.
gem. So I'm really excited Hannah came in because they clicked and I love them. They're so cute
Mhm.
together. So I'm excited to see that.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that was kind of one of those things where it
Worked
fit right
out.
away, and I think she's adorable. I think that
Mhm.
they're like two adorable people that just found each other and now they're both being adorable together. So,
Yeah.
and he's obviously she's what did she say? She was like, he's totally my type, and the accent makes me want to take my clothes off.
Oh,
Whatever she
yeah.
said.
Yeah, so, like, honestly,
I'm like, I
valid.
like her. She's funny too.
I
But I know
agree.
I think they're cute. I think they're actually um she kind of reminds me of Liv a little bit too. But
Yeah,
um I think they're cute. I think they'll actually kind of be strong. I'd be surprised if it tanked.
I agree.
Um
I agree.
and let's see. And so speaking of recoupling, I mean, I I had a hunch that Nick was going to pick Sierra over Bella, and I felt so bad for Bella when he was like saying all these really nice things, and it seemed like, oh, maybe he's talking about Bella, and she like perked up.
Yes.
And then he said our moment in the photo booth, and I was like, oh,
She knew right away. Poor
ugh,
thing.
like
Justice for
that.
Bella.
Literally justice for Bella. Like throw her into something else. Like let her come back next
Yes.
season. Like put her on something. Belle A, we need her again.
At least she has the sweet justice of knowing that in the next episode, Monday night, they teased Sierra finding out that Bella and Nick
Mm-hmm.
literally kissed and made out right before they
Mm-hmm.
kissed and made out in the phone booth that he referenced,
Yep.
which I was like, you're digging the grave, good sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually so glad because I thought she knew. And I thought the
I
girls
did
had already talked
too.
about it. And then who was it, Shelly or Alondra that said it? One of them.
Alondria.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
Like I
didn't
didn't
know.
thought you knew. Like I think everybody else knew, but except for you, sorry. But no, that's again, I think he's gonna get himself into trouble for sure.
And it's such a Nick move because he's not honest, I
Mm-hmm.
think is really what it is. He's not honest with himself, with like obviously being more into Sierra. And he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't honest with Sierra about what happened with him and Bella. Like,
Yeah.
especially because Sierra has been so understanding and patient with him
Mm-hmm.
exploring.
Definitely.
And for him, so like I feel like she would have been upset, but I think she would have understood and like respected the fact that he would speak up. But now that he didn't say anything, it's just like rude to her patience and her being
Yeah.
so understanding. He just like slapped her in the face, basically.
Yeah, no, he's being messy and it's gonna come back to bite him for sure.
Yeah.
Um, he's being messy, he's not thinking clearly because he has women throwing themselves at him, and
I know.
he's a young boy. He's not
He's got a
thinking
lot to
clearly.
learn.
But I'm fine with Shelly and Austin staying together. Huda and Jeremiah, we expected that. Alondria and Taylor, whatever. They're
I
all kind of
guess.
just moo at this point. I'm like, but
What do you think of Amaya?
I like her. I mean, she's gorgeous, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think she has like a different kind of vibe than some of the other girls. Like, I liked her and Hannah coming in together because I think they both have a very similar vibe.
Mhm.
I really liked. Again, I thought her and Austin vibed way harder than her and Ace because of
Yes.
the dock scene. Like they were meditating on the dock together, and then they kissed, and they were having a really fun time. And she was saying like, "Oh, he makes me laugh so much." Like maybe there was more to the Ace thing than they showed us, but I thought they vibed pretty well.
It would have been interesting if the girls were picking who Amaya
Mhm.
would have chosen between Austin and Ace. I do
Mhm.
hope that they keep exploring, and like thankfully Austin and Shelly's, situation isn't a very tight couple, so
Yeah.
I think he will be open to having more conversations with Amaya. And I can understand why Ace picked her. Again, I think Amaya was giving him energy that I think he was missing from Shelly, sadly. But
Mhm.
I'm interested to learn more about Amaya because from what we've seen with Shelly and Ace, they have so much in common.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that yet with Amaya because she's just so new. So
Mhm.
we'll see. But I really like her so far.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if there's just like a little couple switcheroo.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny how Shelly and Ace were obviously originally coupled up at the very, very start. But
2
it's very
seconds.
interesting how they haven't tried to like recouple. Like they've talked a little bit, but they haven't like you would
Committed.
think right. You would think people that are so initially attracted to each other and like they know each other, they've had conversations in the past. Like you would think that they would be like all up over that. But
I agree. I know they said that the main reason it kind of fizzled out was just like the distance from each other,
mhm,
but I am wondering if there is more to it because I feel like the same way. You're in a new situation. I feel like you would just naturally gravitate to someone that you know, and
mhm,
especially if it's a positive,
right.
acquaintance. But I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they recognized each other immediately. So obviously it
Yes.
was impactful enough for them to remember each other from 6, 7 months ago. So
Yeah. I wonder if the show was like,
but
what the hell? The producers like, what the?
I know. It's like, because how would they know that? Like, do they like
Right.
scan unless they're mutual, unless they follow each other on Instagram?
Oh yeah.
But like, and
Maybe.
then maybe someone's okay. But here's the thing: if the producers knew that they knew each other, how could they not know about Ulysses' comments?
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly. Exactly. There's no way.
like if somebody knew that these two DM'd each other for a week 6 months ago, how could they not pick up on racial
Mhm.
slurs that someone else said? Like, what?
Yeah. Honestly, it's
So
a
I'm
valid
intrigued
point.
to know if the producers knew that they had chatted before. But
They'd be messy.
yeah,
Just like the
seriously.
Islanders. Just like
Yeah.
Probably not, right? I mean, if they're anything like the Big Brother casting team, they've had people who've like some people who've like been in the same circles or
Mhm.
been like this person dated this other person's aunt and like they like have pictures together on like social media and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like sometimes they're just not as thorough as they should be.
Yeah. It
Clearly.
is a lot of people.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, great first week to the season. I think coming off the high of last year, they had big shoes to fill, but I think it's still going to be a good season.
I agree. I think as we kind of whittle down to kind of the OG
Mhm.
set of people that you'll start to really root for. If it's kind of around this cast, I'm definitely for it. I think
Mhm.
maybe I'm biased as a woman, but I think the women are way like better options than the
Mhm.
guys. Like the guys need
Oh,
to
they're
step it
all
up.
insanely out of their leagues for sure. Yeah.
Yes. I'm
I
just
would I mean, I would say probably okay, let's do who we think is like the like top like most gorgeous girl, like she's not gonna like no guy is ever gonna touch her. I'm
oh
leaning towards Shelly or Amaya. I think like these men just don't know what they have in front of them, frankly. Like
yeah.
I think that's what comes down to it. Like I think these men they seem great, like they seem cool, but I think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like they clearly just don't know what they have in front of them. Like Nick fumbling
Oh my
immediately
god. so hard.
Like that, like
Taylor just being
Taylor not looking to
there.
his right and seeing the woman that is sitting next to him on the couch and then getting up just nonchalantly. Like,
so offended.
do you not see what you have? So I feel like the men need to kind of step it up a bit to match the energy that the women are putting out, because we have some very eligible women here.
I agree. So I'm hoping that means we'll see, since we just had 2 women bombshells, that hopefully we'll see some guys coming in and put the current guys on the hot seat.
Yeah. People are hoping for Shelly to start dating one of the girls, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be for that. I don't know if any of the
That
other
would
women
be-
are like interested in women also, but I'm pro.
Yeah. That would be very good TV. I would very much watch that.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did I want to say? But yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of feeling out Sierra. I still am not 100% sure about how I feel about her. I think all in all, she's okay. There's just something off about her, and I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I could see that too. I think she's very articulate. I think she's very patient and very understanding of what show she's on. I think what's putting me off, honestly, is the fact that she's interested in Nick.
That's so fair. She was like like she's not interested in any other guy.
No,
And
she had
like
choices.
didn't care that he. This is the other thing too. Like, there's been like multiple girls interested in the same guy, but there hasn't been like multiple guys interested in the same girl.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Like,
you're right. Other than
again,
Nick, but honestly, we all know that he was really just interested in Sierra and being not honest with us.
And then Austin was coupled up with Shelly, but he was also talking to Amaya. And then, I mean, I don't think these men know what they've got.
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
And maybe that's part of, like, they don't know what they want either. Like, a lot of them are just gravitating to the same thing that they have had, like Taylor with the Southern Belles, Nick going for the touchy-feely women. I don't know. It's unclear what they're really looking for in an actual, like, genuine partner.
Well, they're men in their 20s, so it's pretty spot on.
What can I expect from them at this point?
They're not, half of their brains aren't even fully developed. Actually, yeah, all but
Austin.
one.
Austin was like, I'm using that excuse forever.
Yeah, seriously. Like, really like, their brains aren't fully developed. They don't know what they want from life.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. We're trying. But no, it comes back to they don't know what they have, and the men need to step it up if they want to lock down any of these gorgeous women.
True that.
Because, I mean, I think the only person that's like, I mean, Jeremiah's love bombing. That's a whole nother thing. But I think Charlie, like, hit it off with Hannah, and I think he's really the top dog right now.
I think they have the potential to be the it couple.
He's also the oldest man too.
Oh, yeah, that could maybe that helps then, because he's a little bit more like emotionally mature.
You'd really hope so.
One would hope.
One would hope. And, he's a Brit, they're a little, they're different. He comes from a different country, maybe they're more developed over there. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. I mean, American 20-something boys, we're watching it on TV, and we're watching it in real life happen before our eyes. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the season. I think it's going to be a good one. And I'm interested to see if any of these couples even stick.
Time will tell. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I know the new episode's on like right now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone watching this, I'll try to have it up, Monday night, but anyone watching it past that, we're current through Sunday on
Mhm.
on these episodes, and that's kind of how we're gonna do it for the whole season, right?
We're gonna, binge them and knock out an episode.
All right. Well, Julia, anything you'd like to promote before we get out of here?
No, I'm all set.
All right, Jenny, same thing.
Same. I live under a rock except for Love Island.
All right. Well, I'll do promotion then. Better Radio, we have our new season of Big Brother just around the corner. We'll be covering that. And then, of course, we have the Blindsiders, which is happening, sporadically this summer as we get ready for season 50. Also made a new spin-off channel for the Blindsiders, just called the Blindsiders on YouTube. Go check that out. And then main channel, Wicked Everything. This channel is, of course, Better Radio. Then we have Those Fake Nerds and Wicked Good Sports. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.